Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's time for a little garden updates. I'm gonna do a little planting today. Just kind of wanted to bring you guys along for it real quick. I was at Wally World earlier today getting some stuff, and I found a couple of plants that I really wanted to put in the ground. Well, they had a really good deal on these, and the squash, all the containers had one squash in it. I found one that had 3 squash in it. I basically got 2 squash plants for free. So it's just the yellow straight squash. And then found this bell pepper plant that has obviously been sitting there too long. I mean, look at it. It's growing out of the roots are just coming up out of the sides of this thing, and it's already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like 7 or 8 buds on it, and I've got 1, 2, 3 peppers already formed. I'm getting a head start with this one. I'm going to go ahead and get these in containers today, and then I'm gonna go back tomorrow or the next day and get some more dirt so I can get my onions, sweet potato shoots, and some more peppers in the ground. But I wanted to just show you guys how we're doing. Obviously, here's the monster Frankenstein potato experiment, and you can see the color difference. I mean, the shallow, or excuse me, the deep planted all the way at the bottom is a couple of shades green darker than the one that was shallow planted and covered and covered and covered over and over again. So I'm still leaning towards this one. I mean, it's just, I mean, these were the same exact potatoes out of the same exact bag that I bought back in November for Thanksgiving from Walmart. But I mean, they're getting, I'm happy with the growth of both of them, even this one. But this thing here is just, I mean, it's on steroids. I haven't fertilized them with anything. All I did was a dirt mixture, and it was the exact same dirt mixture. It was just 1/3 peat moss, 1/3 black cow manure, and 1/3 potting mix. And I put probably 1/4 cup of bone meal and blood meal in each bucket and mixed it up real good. And that's all I've done. I have added no rabbit manure, nothing. So I'm very happy with the potato experiment. The celery and onions that I'm just giving it a shot. I don't know if they're gonna do anything. I may have damaged them too bad, but no. Hold. Look at. Can y'all see that? What do you see coming up right there? Maybe it'll pick. Can y'all see that? It's sprouting a new leaf right there. How about that? Only 3 days in the bucket. The onions, they were pretty beat up. I don't know if they're gonna do anything, but we'll give it a shot and see. Look at that. Celery growing in the backyard. Celery from Walmart that I used to make my chicken bone broth last week. Awesome. And it sat on the counter for 2 or 3 days before I even put it in the dirt or even got it wet. It just sat sitting on the counter, which is crazy. Okay, my collard greens that absolutely refuse to die are doing pretty good. They're out here in the sun now, so they're kicking it into high gear. I just got them sitting in the tomato buckets until they get a little bit bigger when they're ready for transplanting. The tomatoes in the soil doing very well. This one's doing really good. This one's doing really good. This one got a little bit of transplant shock, but it's starting to bounce back. Now the hydroponic ones, they got their ass kicked in the transplanting. Number one, they're leaving the soil medium and going to an all water medium, so they got to get used to it. And I did a little bit of other research too. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not going to change it unless they start really looking bad. But the mixture that I used was full strength. And some people are saying that it should have been like cut back by at least 1/3, maybe even half strength until they get really, really established. And then the next batch of solutions I mixed up at full strength, but it's already mixed at full strength. If it looks like they're really taking a turn for the worst, I mean, they got banged around a little bit, but they're standing up straight and they're growing, you know, and this is just in the solutions. What I may do, if it looks like they're really getting burned, what I may do, and burn from the nutrient solution, I mean, what I may do is open each bucket and get another 5-gallon bucket and pour 1/3 out of each one of these into another bucket, or maybe half out of each one into 3 different buckets, and go ahead and plant something else. I'm not going to lose any of the solution. I'll just pour half of what's in there out, and I'll replace it with new water, which will effectively dilute it. But it will be the water that goes with the buckets, the Berkey water, the distilled water, and tap water out of the hose. But so far so good. Everything's growing, nothing's dying. I cannot believe I just got surprised by that celery. That is just crazy. I mean, this thing sat on the counter, people. Look at that. See it? That is so cool. Free food right there. Free food. Hopefully the onions will do the same. If not, it's not really a big deal. I got a bag full of onion starts I'm gonna get planted in the next couple days. But as of right now, this is the I guess you'd call it the SHTF container garden. This thing is completely and fully mobile. If I'm getting bad weather or, you know, craziness in the neighborhood and I don't want people to see my food. And if you notice, all this is shielded by behind my house, and the back of my house faces south. So I get sun nonstop right here throughout most part of the day. This part late in the evening. Actually, the sun just kind of walked away from the house probably an hour and a half ago. So they're doing real well. But like I said, with what I've got here right now, the 2 big containers, the 6 buckets fixing to be 9 buckets. I mean, I can completely move this thing inside in probably 6 or 7 minutes by myself. So that's the awesome part of it. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Guys, now those squash were all 3 packed in here, and a lot of times people, when they root small plants, they automatically figure they have to sacrifice one or kill one to save the others by thinning it out. If you just take that ball of roots over to your garden hose and you have a shower setting on your hose, and you hold it up against like something hard like the brick wall, which is, you can see where it's wet where I did it. I laid the root ball, I held all 3 of the plants real sturdy, and I laid the root ball up against the wall, and I just gently sprayed it with that shower setting up and down and let it work all that dirt loose. And what it does by going up and down, it kind of untangles the roots for you. So I wish I would have caught that on video, but I will next time. But I want to show you the aftermath of just going really, really slow, and it's basically like untying a knot, but instead of sacrificing anything, I have 3 viable squash plants that were all knotted up in the bottom of that little jug, and I did not break or lose one single root. It took about 10 minutes of gentle water just spraying on those roots. You don't want to go really, really hard in an up and down motion, and it basically untangled those roots for me. And now I have 3 viable squash plants, when normally people would just take that whole root ball and plant all 3. And then those being planted so close together, especially in a bucket, they're going to fight for nutrients to survive when they get bigger. But, you know, I paid the price of getting 1 squash plant, and I got 2 for free. So to me, that's, if you can get free stuff, that's awesome. That's like this one. I know it's going to grow peppers because there's peppers already on it. You know, I'm going to get that into a container too. But I just wanted to share this with you on how easy it is to multiply, you know, these plants like this when you find something that, you know, a lot of people, when they see plants this big, you know, crammed into this, I mean, the roots were coming out of the bottom. They won't touch it, or they just buy, they'll plant it, you know, all together in one group. And to me, that's just, you're not going to get good production out of any of those plants. They're going to operate at probably 30% of what they would if you had them in their bucket by themselves. So I took the time, separated it, and now I've got 3 awesome plants with gorgeous roots that are going in this black dirt. And another experiment I'm going to do, you notice these buckets are orange. Those ones were white when I got them, so I painted them black. These are orange, and I had a lot of people asking me questions. Do you really have to paint the buckets, Ghost? Why are you painting the buckets? And I'm going to do this season. I'm going to leave these orange. I'm not going to paint them. And then next year at this time, we'll show if there is any difference in the UV deterioration on these buckets. Now, being that I'm not in Florida, I'm in North Carolina, and I'm getting probably 40% sun, maybe 50 or 60% sun back here. So there's not a beaming Florida sun all day long. So it may take these, you know, a couple of seasons to deteriorate. But if they will effectively deteriorate faster than it being UV, because you can see through the buckets right now. You can see the dirt level there, and you can see through the bucket. So there is UV radiation is getting in here, and it is penetrating this plastic, and it will deteriorate it. These, on the other hand, do not. And yes, I am going to get these lids painted, hopefully today. Hang tight, and I'll bring you back when I'm done. Okay, guys, here's the finished product with this 3 squash plants. Looking forward to them growing huge and making bunches and bunches of squash. The pepper plant, probably gonna have to wait till tomorrow. I just got a bucket painted up for it. I'm gonna let it dry. So I'll probably, I may come do it later tonight in an hour or so, let it dry, and then I'll get the pepper in the ground. Actually, probably what I'll do is wait another day or two, and my next update will be getting the pepper planted, getting the onion shoots planted, the onion starts planted, the sweet potato shoots, and the new bag of small red, I call them soup potatoes. They don't get real big, but they, you know, you can can them without doing anything. You can just throw them in a jar and can them, which is cool, and they taste like really good. You guys know what kind of potatoes I'm talking about. Little red ones, little round ones. Okay, but that is it for this day's container update. The next update, it'll be the peppers and the other stuff I got to get planted, and I'm also gonna add some more soil to both of these buckets to bring it up to about the 1 inch from the top line, and then mulch it real good with straw, and then wait on these bad boys to start making some potatoes. Thanks for watching the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I will talk to you guys later.